Hi everyone, my name is Tina Gomashian and I'm an immigration attorney here in the United States of America. This has been a great week for immigration, guys, and we have some news. It is Monday and we have some major immigration updates. Some of you might be watching the news over the weekend and saw that President Biden had a conversation with the President of Mexico, Andres Manuel Lopez, with regards to how to tackle immigration. How are we going to tackle immigration at the border? This has been a huge issue for the past several years, and do bear in mind the Trump administration passed over 400 rules with regards to immigration that mainly affected issues at the border. So how are they going to tackle this? Well, firstly, if you watched my previous video on immigration reform, the Biden administration are asking for $4 billion, $4 billion, to be sent to South America to tackle the issues of crime and the main issues that drive people to the United States, that cause people to actually want to migrate. So that's one way of tackling it. But with regards to the conversation with the president of Mexico, they're really going to be focusing on issues in Mexico with regards to crime and what's causing migration to try and fix the root causes for people wanting to leave. Now, January 29th, guys, is going to be a huge day for immigration, and the reason for that is there's going to be some executive orders being passed with regards to how to tackle issues at the border. And one of those issues they're going to tackle is how to process asylum cases at the border. As you know, under the Trump administration, people were made to wait in Mexico until their hearing date. Now, that was very dangerous for many people because the reason people are applying for asylum is that their life is usually in danger. So they're going to deal with this and how to process applications more quickly and get people in the U.S. where they can be safe while waiting on their hearing dates. The second thing they're going to tackle is refugee, finding a way to actually process applications for refugee status at the border. Now, one major thing that I'm really happy to see that they're going to be doing is they're actually going to have, which is the third executive order, a task force, a family reunification task force, guys. This is major. If many of you, most people will remember under the Trump administration, they were actually ripping children out their parents' arms and separating kids at the border from their parents. And this was really a way to deter people. This was really used as a deterrent to stop people coming and basically saying, if you come here with your children, you might not see your children again. And that was really to stop people coming into the US. And it didn't work because people aren't coming here because they want to. A lot of times they're coming here because they need to, and they're in danger with their lives anyway back in South America. So the risk they're taking is half a dozen to another. So it didn't really work. All it did was cause traumatic stress to millions, hundreds and hundreds of children. So they're going to actually have a family reunification task force to actually help reunite children with their parents, which I think is huge. And it really represents America the way the world used to see America, as a country that was number one, a country that was about humanitarian values, a country that cared for its people and other people. And so I think this is a big step today to kind of mend those bridges that were burned over the past 4 years. Now, the fourth major thing that was discussed with regards to executive orders was public charge, guys. So I have a lot of people asking questions about this. Will public charge be in place? Well, under this, the executive order is going to ask for immediate review of public charge rules. Now, public charge almost became laughable. 1 week it was in, 1 week it was out. It was constantly being debated in the courts. And what public charge was, guys, for those of you who don't know what it was, it really essentially is a credit check for people coming into the US, which didn't really work because a lot of people were bringing their parents. And when you bring your parents, a lot of parents aren't going to work when they come here, but their children are able to support them. But they didn't really take that into account. They wanted people to come here with that. You basically came here super rich or you didn't come at all. And that separated dozens and dozens of families. It was a really brutal, vicious policy that was put in place by the Trump administration. So we're all glad to see that this will be under review and hopefully removed within the next year. Now, it can't just go like that, and that's because it has to go through a whole rulemaking process to remove it. It can't go immediately. But the fact that he is ordering, Biden is ordering an executive order to review this is huge. He's also going to be reviewing the citizenship process and to restore trust in the immigration system again, which I think is massive because the past 4 years have been really tough. I mean, USCIS, there's been a lot of abuse of power when they've been reviewing applications. They've been given a lot of discretion, too much discretion. And do bear in mind, guys, that most of these USCIS officers, a lot of them don't have bachelor's degrees. A lot of them, most of them are not immigration lawyers. They don't know immigration law that well. Some of them have 3 weeks training, and then they're going in with 3 weeks training to reviewing applications and making a decision on someone's entire life. And people, when people are immigrating to a country, they pour their life savings a lot of times into immigrating. They're putting all their life savings and uprooting their family to give their family this better chance. And a lot of people were submitting applications and having a lot of injustice that was going on because they were being unfairly denied because you had an officer that wasn't trained properly and was given a huge amount of discretion and power, and it wasn't being questioned under the Trump administration. So it's really good to see that they're going to restore trust in the immigration system with USCIS, where there will be reviews. I mean, many of you may know that they actually try to remove the process of appeals, where if something was wrong, you could actually appeal it. The board, you could send your case off to the Board of Appeals and they review it by a higher authority. They were trying to remove that under the Trump administration. So really, there was no one checking what was going on. So I think what we're going to see over the next 4 years is trust being restored in the immigration process. When you meet the requirements for a visa and you send your application off, it should get approved if you're meeting those requirements. And if not, you will have methods to challenge this, as we've always done under both Democratic and Republican administrations in the past. The past 4 years was the first time we saw such draconian, extreme attacks on immigration. So I think this is a huge, huge move in a positive direction. And so many people have also asked, how likely is this bill to get passed? Well, obviously not everything in the bill is going to get passed. I think there's going to be a lot of challenge. And it's going to be Senator Mendez that's going to be leading the bill. He's a Democratic senator from New Jersey, and he's going to actually be leading the process of getting this bill approved. I think certain parts of it are going to have some challenges. Other parts, especially with the elements of it surrounding DACA, I think that will be more of a priority, because a lot of people understand that people that are on DACA are hardworking people. You really can't have 3 or more misdemeanors to get DACA. So they're usually people with no criminal records. They have a high school degree. They've been working very hard. They deserve a path to citizenship. They were brought here very young. They don't even know their home country half the time. And really, this is their home. So I think that's one thing that will have less scrutiny compared to other parts of the bill. But we will see as this goes through Congress, how it's debated in Capitol Hill. They will need 50 Democrats and 10 Republican votes, or 50 Democrats, Vice President Harris, and 9 Republicans to get this through. So we'll see how this will be debated on Capitol Hill. I will be updating you guys, especially January 29th, as to how things are going and what new executive orders are being passed. So please follow me. Click subscribe, hit subscribe on my YouTube channel to get the latest immigration news and updates. Thank you.